Hi, this is Darren from EnglishTution.org. In this video, we are going to talk about motivation, right? Because I teach, so motivation is a big part of the puzzle, okay? And without motivation, we can never achieve anything because there's no source of energy coming from the student, right? So, where do we go about getting the motivation, right? Or helping the child get the motivation to do well in his or her academic studies. So ideally, we want the child to be able to understand that I am here, right? Or all tutors and teachers are here as a resource, as a guide to help them achieve their goals and their dreams. Okay, but that is just the ideal approach, right? Because in reality, many students are just still too young. They do not understand the goals, and they do not even have a good understanding of why they need an education in the first place. And sometimes it is very difficult to explain these type of concepts to students when they are still very young. Okay, so by and large, I feel that as the students grow older, when go to primary 5, primary 6, and we just talk to them nicely out of mutual respect, right? And try to get them to understand that there's some purpose, okay, as to why they should need to study hard, okay, and that will hopefully give them the drive, okay, to do better in their studies, okay, primary 5, primary 6, secondary school onwards. They do have the capacity to understand that, right? And for young students, before they come to or understand more about their own strengths and weaknesses, and before they come to the realization that this is the course that I want to pursue, right? What we have to do in the meantime is to keep working on their core, okay, the foundation, the core subjects, okay, keep working on their foundation, English, maths, science, mother tongue, okay, these are all the core subjects, and eventually when it comes a time for them to choose, right? Usually the streaming starts in Sec 2. So when you go, when a child goes to Sec 2, okay, he will have to choose, right? Should he take double sciences or triple sciences? How about A-Maths, right? Additional maths, E-Maths, okay? Unfortunately, English is a subject that they cannot choose, okay? So even after O-levels, okay, when they're choosing a course in a polytechnic, some courses, even though they are non-language based, okay, the minimum requirement for English would be at least a C6. And that is, we have not even considered the competitiveness of the course. So if the course itself is very, very competitive, so even though they list the requirement as a minimum C6, chances are if you just get a C6, that means you just scrape through English, okay, and you did not score all 1s and 2s, for the other subjects, you may have difficulty getting into the course that you want. So the best thing is to just keep working hard and on English and do well. And there are some secondary implications, right, for English. If you do not have a strong command of English, other subjects such as humanities, okay, which requires lots of writing, may also suffer, right? So try to encourage your child to take English seriously, even when in the beginning they may not have a strong interest in it. Now, of course, there will be kids, okay, who are naturally gifted, okay, and they are naturally talented when it comes to languages, right, linguistically gifted. So I have worked with such children before, and they are very easy to teach, okay, they understand exactly what I'm saying, okay, and they are able to master the concepts and the topics very quickly. But that's not the case with all students, right? Different students have different strengths. Some will be stronger in maths and science, okay, and I also have the experience of working with such students. They are definitely harder to teach, right? More challenging. Because they don't feel that they have this affinity with language, okay, so they don't like to read. Okay, so if they don't read and they don't watch English programs, they don't use the language more, and they are not exposed to more materials that is in English, then it's going to be a struggle. But nevertheless, I always try to encourage them. So I will give out homework and I'll try to convince them that this is what you need to do. Okay, you need to read more, and I'm very specific with my instructions, right? If when you are reading, this is what you should look out for, and this and that and that, and this and that, right? So I try to guide the student. Then after that, it's up to the student to walk the path, all right? And hope for the best, right? Hopefully we can get a positive result out of it. Okay, here are some tips, okay, for parents who have young children who are still in primary school. So if your child is still in primary 1 and 2, okay, primary 1 and 2, don't be too alarmed if the child is not doing well in the exam, right? Primary 1 and 2, whatever they are learning is just the really basics and fundamentals. Okay, so they shouldn't be failing the subject. If they are, then please, maybe you have to do something to try and find out what is the underlying reason. Maybe just being too playful in class, not paying attention. Okay, would changing of seats be of help, right? Just try to find out what's the root cause of not doing well in the exams. But typically, most students have no problems clearing primary 1, primary 2. Okay, because basic stuff, everyone, whether you have the talent, no talent, potential, no potential, you can still clear the exam. Okay. Now, when it comes to primary 3, primary 4, okay, right now they are in the middle of the primary school education journey. So, primary 3, primary 4 kids, from my experience, when I work with them, they are still very much building on their foundation. Okay, when they write, sometimes when they copy, they still miss out words, still forget about their punctuation. These things are perfectly common, right? These mistakes. Okay, and primary 3, primary 4, the exams are still relatively easy. Okay, they are still given a lot of support and assistance, still have a lot of MCQ, helping words. Okay, and comprehension wise, that's the same, still a lot of support. Which is why most students also do not have much problems clearing primary 3 and primary 4. Okay, now, but the problem with having an exam, okay, that is relatively easy, is that sometimes we do not see the gap so clearly between the really good students and the really not so good ones, because the not so good ones, because they're given all that support in the exam paper, okay, they can still get relatively high marks. Maybe you can say, some people may say it's by luck, right? But I found that to be true because they still have a lot of those helping words and stuff, MCQs, to help them along with their results. So if I'm to suddenly take away all that support from the paper and move closer towards the PSLE syllabus, okay, where there are more open-ended stuff, right? Then we will really start to see the gap between the good student and the students who have not mastered the topics very well. Alright? And this difference usually starts to show in primary 5. So primary 5, because primary 5, we are running out of time. Okay, by primary 6, all the students have to sit for their PSLE. Okay? So primary 5, schools will try to ease the students, okay, into the actual PSLE syllabus. In other words, no more support for you, okay. You will do the open-ended comprehension, okay. No more just 5 blanks or 8 blanks, okay. You'll get the full 15 blanks, okay. No helping words, okay. You get the full-fledged comprehension questions, okay. And that is when students with a very weak foundation starts to really struggle, okay, because they have not understood the topics very well in the first place, right? From primary 1 to primary 4, okay, and then parents were surprised, right, when they receive mid-year exam results and they see, how come my child can drop from 80% in primary 4 to borderline pass 50% in primary 5. Okay, that is exactly what is happening. Alright, so don't be too alarmed, right? So it takes a while for the child to adjust to the new syllabus, okay, to whatever new standard that the school has set for them. Usually by the end of primary 5, they would have adjusted to the new challenges, and you should see some improvement, right? But if not, please do not hesitate to try and get some help, okay, for the child. Even if the child has a good foundation, okay, just simply because of the jump in the standard, okay, then it just means that the child will have to spend a little bit more time on the subject just so he or she can keep up with the syllabus, okay? Okay, now when parents want to look for help, okay, want to hire a tutor, whatever, and sometimes when parents come to me, okay, I always recommend that parents have a little chat with their kids first, okay, because since we are on the topic of motivation, I hope that the child is coming for lessons with the right mindset, right? But sometimes parents frame the tuition as a form of punishment. Okay, for example, they might tell the child, okay, if you don't do well for your mid-year exam or your CA1, I am going to throw you, okay, into group tuition, right? Or I'm going to hire a tutor for you, and you will have to attend tuition lessons where there will be homework. So in the child's mind, all right, he or she may already be resisting the tuition because he sees it as a form of punishment, right? And when he comes for a lesson, he's just not receptive. In fact, he's a little bit bitter and angry because now I have to sit through this 1.5 hours lessons, which is supposed to be torture for me. It means additional homework, which did not set us, okay, on the right footing. So my preference is for parents to actually explain to the child in advance that tuition, yes, requires more effort, but we are actually just guides, right, and a resource, okay, for the students to seek guidance, okay, because that is what the student needs, all right? He needs guidance, he needs encouragement. So if he can come with the right frame of mind, then I find that it's easier to teach the child because he knows that the lessons are good for them. Okay, he already understands that he's here to try and benefit from the lessons, and he's not being punished. Okay, so then at least we set off on the right track. Okay, and I can go on from there. And if parents did not have this conversation with their kids in advance, don't worry, I will do it on their behalf. Okay, so when a child comes, because sometimes during their first 1 or 2 lesson, I will ask the child, okay, who asked to sign up for the tuition lesson? Is it the child or is it the parent? Okay, sometimes the child is aware that they need help. Okay, so the child will bring it up. They say, everyone else, my friends, okay, they are having tuition, right? And I think I need this tuition because I'm really, my results are showing that I'm not doing so well. Okay, so I think I need some additional help. Okay, and they will bring it out to the parents, and the parents will say, okay, in that case, by all means, I'll sign it up for tuition. If you are sincere about learning, okay, parents are most willing to pay the additional fees, to send their child for tuition, right? Sometimes it's the other way around. Okay, the parents are not happy with the results. Okay, and like I mentioned, right, without consulting the child or without discussing with the child, the parents just say, okay, this tutor is good, you go, whatever I say, you do. So when I ask the child who asked for the tuition, the child will just smile or just sit there quietly and say, my parents signed me up for the tuition. I'm forced to come here. Okay, I did not have a choice. Okay, so in such cases, okay, I will still try to talk to the child. Okay, over time, I hope that the child will come to see me as a guide, okay, and a resource for him to tap into, okay, when he or she needs help. Okay, so over time, as the child grows older, okay, usually reaching Sec 2 and Sec 3, by then most of them more or less have a clearer idea of the path that they want to pursue. Okay, in fact, every now and then I will discuss with them, and I will share with them more information about what are the courses available in Polytechnic or in the university, okay, and see whether they have any interest in it. Of course, it's still too early for most of them to make a choice, because ultimately they only have to make a choice when they're in Sec 4, okay, after their O-levels, okay. So, but this is not too early, okay, to let them have this information in advance, okay, and share with them some of my life experiences, my knowledge, okay, about what I know about these courses with them, and just let them reflect on it on their own, and hopefully, you know, when it's time for them to make a decision, it will not be a rush decision. They would have at least have some background information about the courses. Okay, that's all I have in this video. I hope you find it useful. I certainly have a lot of fun, okay, making the video, and I will see you in the next video. And yeah, before I forget, right, so if you agree with what I've said about motivation, about dreams, okay, and about having discussion with the child, so please give the video a like somewhere down in the video below. But if you disagree with anything that I have to say, or you hate this video, or you just hate my face for whatever reason, you can always hit the thumbs down button also somewhere in the video below. Alright, so that's all I have. I will see you in the next video. Bye.